This is Tales and Whispers, where every story is felt, not just heard.
Have you ever thought about what really makes a hero? Well, today, we've got a story for you that gets right to the heart of it. It's about a 13-year-old kid, a school bus, and a split-second decision that saved 66 of his classmates. This one is seriously incredible. Let's dive in. Okay, I want you to just imagine something with me for a second. Put yourself there. It's the end of a long school day. You're on the bus, just wanting to get home. Everything feels, well, completely normal, right? Almost forgettable. You know the one. You see the same ripped vinyl on the seats, the same scuff marks on the floor. It's the exact same bus you've been on 100 times before. And you can hear it, can't you? That familiar buzz, kids talking, laughing, probably yelling a bit from the back seats. It's just the soundtrack of any normal afternoon school bus ride. It's the same old chaos, the same scramble for a good seat. Just another Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever. But here's the thing. No one, and I mean no one, on that bus had a clue that their world was about to get turned upside down. All right, so let's set the scene. We're in Michigan. It's April of 2023, and on this bus, somewhere in the middle, is a 13-year-old 7th grader named Dillon Reeves. And listen, he's not some kind of superhero. He's just a regular kid, probably thinking about video games or what's for dinner, just like everyone else. And he's not alone. There are 66 other kids on that bus with him. That's 66 students just going about their day with absolutely no idea of the danger that was literally just moments away. And this is it. This is the exact moment when that perfectly normal day just shatters. Up at the front of the bus, the driver, who's just doing her route, suddenly has a massive medical emergency. And you won't believe how fast this all happened. It's insane. Okay, look. At second 0, she feels a wave of dizziness. 5 seconds in, she's on the radio, calling for help, saying she's got to pull over. But just 3 seconds after that, she's out. She loses consciousness. And by the time we hit second 10, that bus, full of kids, is now drifting right into oncoming traffic. So just picture that. A runaway school bus, packed with students, and nobody is at the wheel. As the other kids start to realize what's happening, you can just imagine pure panic starts to rip through the bus. Now, in a situation like this, what do you think most of us would do? Honestly, we'd probably freeze. It's human nature. But not Dillon Reeves. He did something totally different, something absolutely extraordinary. And this is what's so amazing. The normal, totally understandable reaction is to freeze up, right? Or scream, or duck down. And you couldn't blame anyone for that. But Dillon, he made a different choice. Instead of freezing, he stood up. Instead of panicking, he moved forward. He took action. So while everyone else is kind of locked in place by fear, Dillon is already moving. He just bolts down that aisle, running past 5 rows of his classmates who are, completely terrified. He knew exactly what he had to do. And he didn't just flail around in a panic. This was a series of calm, measured steps. First, he gets to the front. Second, he grabs that steering wheel. Third, he yanks it away from the other cars. And then, and this part is just genius, he doesn't slam on the brake. He gently, carefully pushes it, bringing this massive bus to a slow, safe stop. But wait, because the story isn't over, not even close. Because the second that bus came to a stop, his job wasn't done. He went from being the person who saved them to being the person who led them. I mean, check this out. The bus is stopped, the immediate danger is gone, and what does he do? He takes charge. He starts yelling, "Somebody call 911." He tells everyone to stay in their seats to stay safe, and then he actually starts comforting the other kids who are crying and freaking out. For a 13-year-old, that's just, wow, incredible composure. And the result of all that, of his quick thinking, his calm action, the paramedics show up, they take care of the driver, and every single one of those 66 kids walked off that bus completely unharmed. Not a scratch, not one. So, of course, this leads to the one big question that's on everyone's mind, right? How? How on earth did a 13-year-old kid who's never driven anything in his life know exactly what to do in that life or death moment? I mean, everybody asked him. Reporters, his parents, the school superintendent, they all had the same question. Dillon, how did you know what to do? And his answer? Well, his answer is maybe the most powerful part of this whole thing. He just looked at them and said, I watch her do it every day. Just let that sink in. I watch her do it every day. That was it. That was the secret. He didn't have superpowers. He just paid attention. And that's really what this is all about, isn't it? It's about this idea of everyday heroism. It's not about being super strong or fearless. It's about being aware. It's about seeing what needs to be done and then having the guts to actually do it. So what's the big lesson we can all take from this? It's pretty simple, actually. Heroism, it's not about how old you are. It's not about how strong you are. It's about paying attention. It's about taking responsibility. And it's about choosing to act, especially when you're scared. You know, there might be a moment in your life when nobody else is ready. A moment where you're the only one who can make a difference. Dillon was ready simply because he had been watching. So it kind of makes you think, right? What are you watching every day that might, just might, be preparing you for something? And that's really the final question, isn't it? When that moment finds you, and you'll never see it coming, the line between a terrible tragedy and an incredible survival story might come down to one single choice you make. So, what's it gonna be? Will you hesitate or will you act?